Oh, hello. I spent way too much money on 4Ks and Blu-rays this month. Let's talk about them. Excuse me one moment. What's up, everyone? Red Eye Reviews here with another episode of Physical Therapy for you, this time for the month of November 2024. This time, I may have gone too far, and I have quite the haul. In fact, the biggest haul that I have ever done on physical therapy. In fact, the biggest that I can think of in a long time.
That's what she said.
People had some sales. I went a little crazy, had a little extra money to spend. So this month, we're doing physical therapy in 2 episodes. So you will get a November 2024 part 2 sometime shortly after this video is released. There's just so much to go over. So without further ado, I'm just going to jump right into it.
Kick the tires and light the fires, Big Daddy.
So last month, at the end of the video, I gave a little sneak preview as to what the first title of this month would be. And my clue that I offered up was Plate of Shrimp. Now, congrats to anyone who got that. Let me know in the comments below if you got it. Repo Man on 4K from Criterion.
Suppose you're thinking about a plate of shrimp. Suddenly somebody will say like plate or shrimp or plate of shrimp out of the blue, no explanation. No point in looking for one either. It's all part of a cosmic unconsciousness.
You eat a lot of acid, Miller, back in the hippie days?
So this was an upgrade for me from the previous Criterion Blu-ray, and I gotta say, the Dolby Vision on this one really adds to your viewing experience. You might think a movie like Repo Man might not benefit from a 4K upgrade. This one does. Very highly recommended because of the picture upgrade. The package itself basically contains, the 4K film and then the Blu-ray from the previous Criterion edition. I also have the Criterion Blu-ray right here for comparison. I also wanted to show off the thickness of these. The 4K is on the bottom, and you can see it is noticeably bigger than the Blu-ray on the left. So, adjust those shelves accordingly. Repo Man is a little slice of cult classic from the 80s, directed by Alex Cox, who is a notable cult film director, made other films like Sid and Nancy. Repo Man definitely holds its place in cinema history. It basically defines the term cult classic. It's basically about Emilio Estevez, who plays a punk, kind of a teenager in the 80s in LA, and he kind of doesn't know where to go with his life, and so he stumbles upon this group of repo men who repossess cars for a living. So he goes into the shady world of repo men, but at the same time, there's a car driving around that has a peculiar passenger, and there's something else behind it I won't spoil for you here. But if you haven't seen Repo Man, I highly recommend checking it out on any format or any way you can. I also highly recommend this Criterion 4K. Thank you, Barnes & Noble, for having a sale and draining my wallet again this year.
Wow, this has just been such a pleasure. I'm such a lucky boy. I can't wait to go home and park myself in front of the TV and watch all this. And yeah.
Next up, we have a film that was pretty controversial back in the 90s when it was released, and it's still kind of controversial now because of its subject matter, and that is Happiness on 4K from Criterion, another pickup from the Barnes & Noble Criterion sale.
No, it's okay. I'm strong enough.
Happiness is directed by cult film director Todd Solonitz. I can never say his name right, so forgive me if I mispronounced it. So this movie basically follows a group of people who they all share kind of a missing piece in their life. There's something wrong with them. They're socially inept, and some of them have deeper problems. It's very risque in some of the subject matter. There is some there's a character who is a
It's pedophile, not pedophile.
yeah, and he does some dastardly things in this film, and I won't talk about them on here for fear of getting my channel banned, but this movie is pretty effed up, and if you're into movies like that, dark comedies that are really gonna mess with you,
on, man, get it.
Oh, Bill, you shouldn't have.
I haven't had a chance to check out the transfer yet, but the last edition of this I had was a Trimark DVD, and those look pretty bad. Even in the 2000s, they look bad. But I'm really glad Criterion was able to get a hold of this and put it out on 4K Blu-ray. I haven't seen this film in a long time, so I don't know how it's going to hold up with me, but I do remember enjoying it quite a bit. Philip Seymour Hoffman's character does have an interesting way of putting postcards on his wall. So I can recommend this if you're into a messed up movie that might make you question why you're laughing and then realize maybe you shouldn't be laughing.
Yes, only come can be used as a verb as well.
Next up, I have an Italian horror classic from director Lucio Fulci, and that is The Beyond. The Beyond is a film that I watched in my early 20s upon my resurgence back into horror films, and to be honest, I really haven't seen it since. It's been a long time. I'm really glad to pick this up because I had an old Anchor Bay DVD that was pretty crusty, and I just didn't feel like watching it, and so that's kind of why I never saw this for such a long time, even though I owned it. But The Beyond, I'm glad to pick this up on Blu-ray. This, I'm sure there's going to be a 4K release of this eventually, but for now, I'm happy with this, especially coming from a crusty old DVD. This version also came with the soundtrack, so that's a cool little bonus. Like I said, I really don't remember a whole lot about this. I do remember loving it. There are some extreme gore scenes in it. It's Italian horror, it's Fulci. You kind of know what you're in for.
Tell me, with all those accidents, you think you'll give it up now?
I couldn't do that if I wanted to.
But that's not to say that it's not worth checking out. I don't know anything about this transfer, but this is the only Blu-ray I know that's available in North America right now, and it was $20. Price was right. I had to buy it. So see you later, Anchor Bay DVD. Now we got a new way to watch this, and now that I have a better way of watching it, maybe I'll watch it sooner than later. Next up, I have a film it's bad. It's considered kind of a guilty pleasure, and that is Judge Dredd on Blu-ray with Stallone. Yeah, I bought it. Cue the I am the law,
I am the law! I am the law! You betray the law!
So I won't go on too long about this one because there's a lot of discourse about this online. Most of it's bad, and I agree, it's a bad film. I saw this on VHS in 1995 when it came out, and after seeing that trailer, I thought this was going to be the bomb, action-packed, but in reality, I fell asleep and was pretty bored by it. So of course, Dredd with Carl Urban is the superior film about Judge Dredd. He never takes his helmet off. He does a lot of Dredd mannerisms. It's a better film all in all. This one, it starts out all right, but then it just kind of tumbles. And like I said, it gets kind of boring in places. Stallone takes his helmet off, and I think for most of the movie, it's off, if I recall. I haven't seen this in a long time, but this was about $7, and, I figured, why not pick it up? It's 90s action movie. It's a Disney Blu-ray, so who knows how long this is going to be around. I mean, they're surely not pressing any more of these as of lately. But, I just felt, why not? It's 90s trash, and I like Judge Dredd so much that I'm willing to have this in my collection just because it's Judge Dredd.
Mr. I am the law.
Next up, we have a hidden gem cult classic of a movie on Blu-ray that I was really glad to see not too long ago, and I was also really glad to see that the price dropped to about $13 online, and that is Blind Fury, featuring the late, great Rutger Hauer.
What's your problem, jerk-off? You blind?
Yeah. What's your excuse?
Holy shit!
So this is a Blu-ray from Kino, And there is no 4K for this yet. I'm sure there will be, but I think I'll be fine with this copy. I don't normally have a problem with Kino Blu-ray quality, and I don't know if it's something I'm gonna really want to have on 4K, like it's not a necessity. This is a good little film. Turn your brain off, have some fun. Rutger Hauer is all charm, and oh man, he's great in this. So basically what it is he is a blind Vietnam vet, and he takes on the mafia, and he's a master of combat. The man can kick your ass and, you know, do it in 2 moves, and he's blind. The tone of this film straddles the line between comedy and drama, and of course you got action sequences that are great.
Do you know what that means? Fuck off! I also do circumcision. I suggest aspirin for that headache. What headache?
Rutger Hauer just owns this movie. He just commands the screen. So, I mean, even if you're not feeling the story, you'll love the action and you'll love Rutger Hauer's charm. Blind Fury from Kino. Check it out. Next up, I have a 4K upgrade of a early 90s sci-fi cult classic that wasn't always considered a cult classic. It was kind of talked about negatively for some time. It's great to see this movie getting a little bit of love now, because for a while there, it got a lot of hate, and that is Robocop 2 on 4K from Shout Factory. So Robocop 2, I have very, very fond memories of watching this when I was about 9 or 10 years old in the early 90s. I remember going to the video store with a friend of mine and walking down the street like big kids, going renting videos by ourselves. They let us rent rated R movies like this and some other horror classics.
Can't shoot a kid, can you, fucker?
Man, it was the early 90s. It's so great. But anyway, Robocop 2 has no chance in hell of even coming close to touching the legacy of the first Robocop. That's a movie you just can't top. And in my opinion, a sequel doesn't have to top the original. It just has to kind of give you more of what you liked about the original and do it in a new and interesting way. Robocop 2 does that, I think. It tries to be Robocop 1, but it isn't. That's okay. I like the action in this. I like the character work. I like the special effects in this movie. They still even have the phony commercials.
Magnavolt, the final word in auto security. No embarrassing alarm noise, no need to trouble the police. And it won't even run down your battery.
So in that respect, Robocop 2 tries to do a lot of what the first one did, but it doesn't do it as well. Robocop 3, on the other hand, that's a true piece of shit. I say stay away from that one at all costs. Robocop 2, it's a nice little companion to the first one. It's in the same world. Peter Weller is still Robocop in this one. Nancy Allen returns. I like the Kane robot in this. I think the special effects were spectacular and, you know, classic practical effects. Again, not as great as the first one, but still a damn good, enjoyable movie in my opinion. This was directed by the late great Aaron Kershner, who gave us one of the best movies of all time, The Empire Strikes Back. And this is nothing like that, but you know, you kind of see his footprints in this. Again, it's a fun little thing to watch after you watch Robocop 1 and you're still hungry for more Robocop. I actually had the chance of watching this one recently from start to finish, and I gotta say, this is a major upgrade over that old Shout Factory Blu-ray. The HDR looks really nice on this. This is probably the last edition of this I'm ever gonna buy, because to me, it's kind of the best you're gonna get. I don't know how much better this can look, but Shout Factory did a pretty damn good job this time. So I say pick it up. Alright guys, I'm not going to talk about this one for very long because I did a video about it before and a lot of you saw it because it got a lot of views. And this next title is Godzilla Minus One on 4K. So you might be wondering why I don't have the ultimate box. Well, if you know me and you know this channel, you know that I like small Amaray cases. I don't like huge boxes.
I got a big box. Yes, I do. I got a big box. How about you?
I really just want my films to have the best picture and audio quality, so I don't care a whole lot about the packaging, but I prefer the packaging to be as small as possible. So Godzilla Minus One was my favorite movie of 2023. I still haven't seen Godzilla vs. Kong because it just looks silly to me. This is your more serious, down-to-earth, grounded Godzilla movie. I mean, it's still a giant lizard walking around smashing things, but it's a very serious movie. There's some real human drama in this. It tackles subjects like PTSD and what to do when your government abandons you. Man, this movie has it all. I really just can say nothing more than run, don't walk to see this movie. Godzilla Minus One is great. Even if you're not a Godzilla fan, it's still a spectacle to stare in awe at. It was made for very little money, and you know, a lot of its special effects are better than most modern movies these days. So I will say that this is worth your money. If you're a genre fan, if you're a kaiju fan, if you're just a fan of good movies, check out Godzilla Minus One. The 4K picture on this is stunning, amazing. I don't know how much better it can get because it just looks and sounds so damn good. The Atmos track on this kicks ass, and you get to watch the movie in Japanese with English subtitles, or you can choose a dubbed version. You know, if you want to walk around the house and do some chores, keep it on in the background. So my favorite film from 2023 is also one of my favorite 4Ks of 2024. This 4K is amazing. Grab it. Or one of those other special editions too. Those are fine. All right, guys, I'm going to lose a little cred here because I got to come clean and say that I have not even seen this next title. But now that I have it, I can't wait to actually watch it. And that is Inferno on Blu-ray.
Good screaming, everybody.
Now, I know there's going to probably be a 4K of this eventually down the road. I'm okay with that, especially because I haven't seen this yet. I've heard a lot of good things about this film. Thankfully, nothing's been spoiled, but I was told to check this out. I was walking the aisles at Rasputin Music and DVDs, and I found this on the shelf used for about 12 bucks. So, you know, I saw that it goes online for about double that, so, you know, had to grab it. So since I've never seen this, I can't talk about the plot, the transfer, or if I should even recommend this to you. But it's Dario Argento. I'm sure I won't be let down, and I'm looking forward to checking this one out. All right, last pick of this video, and it's a doozy good one, and that is Suspiria on 4K from Synapse. I was very happy to pick this up because I saw that the prices for this skyrocketed. I don't think it was out of print. I think there was just a mad rush to buy this because we were kind of on the tail end of Halloween. Honestly, I haven't even checked it out yet.
Oh, it is a fucking surprise.
I really, really want to, but I want to sit and watch it in all of its 4K glory. I am told, however, this is a nice upgrade from the Synapse Blu-ray. I also own that, so I'm upgrading. Suspiria is one of my favorite horror films of all time. I don't need to talk about this movie other than say, you know, it's got beautiful colors. It doesn't always make sense, but it's got some damn good atmosphere, some damn good music from Goblin. Arguably Argento's best. It's Suspiria, it's a classic. So Susie Bannion is an American ballet student studying abroad in Germany. I'd like to study abroad in Germany too. At the school she is staying at, before she even gets in the door, something feels weird, and one of the other students gets bubbled, and I mean, you see it right here on the cover. That's it. So, spoiler, but that's in the first 10 minutes of the film. That's a really great scene, by the way. But Suspiria basically can be summed up with one word, in my opinion, and that is colors.
Colors, 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 colors.
Colors. Everyone who has seen this film and loves this film always talks about the colors, myself included. It's a very colorful film. Argento is a master of mise-en-scene. It's very pleasant to look at, and I'm really glad to have this on the best format possible, and I want to see Suspiria in all its 4K goodness. If you are able to get this for a decent price, I say go for it. It is definitely worth your time. I actually got to see it about 10 years ago. I saw a original Italian print at a indie theater in San Francisco, and that was quite the experience, seeing it with a crowd, seeing it in Italian language. Man, that's a great way to watch it. But I think this is a close second because it's Suspiria in 4K. 4K is all about the colors and the HDR, and I'm guessing that it shines on this disc. So without even seeing it, I can say go pick up the Synapse 4K if you can, and if you can get it for a good price. So that's it for this part 1 of 2 videos I am doing for the month of November. I am going to have another video stacked full of pickups, all still from the month of November, and a little clue about the first one I'm going to feature. It's a 2024 horror film that was one of my favorite films of the year, kind of flipping the script on the Jason Voorhees lore, and it's not a Friday the 13th movie. It's also been pretty hard to get online, and if you know what this movie is, you know the struggle of trying to find it right now, but I got one. Please don't forget to like this video, share, and subscribe to the channel. Come back soon for part 2, and don't forget, keep those eyes red, baby. See ya.
Jesus had days like this.
Your love of the halfling's leaf has clearly slowed your mind.
I'm having trouble. We have to abort.
No. We go all the way. Okay?